Kia ora koutou, thank you so much for staying for the end. Today I'm going to talk about Wai Auckland, which is a new project that started back in, the thought processes for it started back in 2016 when Lester Levy was the chair of Auckland Transport and the 3 Auckland DHBs. He really wanted to see a project that was going to tackle obesity for our city. So a working group was developed, and then they assessed a whole lot of ideas, and they really wanted to land on one that would capture the hearts and minds of Aucklanders and really make some meaningful change, and that's where Wai Auckland was born. So as the picture illustrates, it's all about drinking more water. We do know that people do consume water most of the time as their beverage, but there are some groups in our communities that do drink sugary drinks a lot more than they should, and we do know from sales data that sugary drink sales are increasing year on year, so it is still an issue. So the key objectives of the project are 1, to displace sugary drinks, preferably with tap water; 2, to improve the access, availability and appeal of drinking water, especially for children; and 3, to implement collaborative community action. Let's see if I can get this to work. Great. Okay, so Wai Auckland sits under the Healthy Auckland Together initiative. So Healthy Auckland Together was an interagency group that was formed back in 2014, again to tackle obesity in the city. So at the moment there are actually 26 members of HAT. That slide needs to be updated, and the member organisations came from a range of sectors, so from education, health, NGOs, a wide range. Our 2 newest members of HAT that have just come on board are Auckland Dental Association and the Diabetes Project Trust. So that's really great for me and my project work that I'm doing. So for HAT, ARFS, Auckland Regional Public Health, they're described as the backbone organisation, so they help facilitate the activities. So besides Wai Auckland, there are 3 main focuses for Healthy Auckland Together. So one of the other ones is marketing to children. HAT just recently commissioned a comic by Toby Morris around junk messages, which really illustrates the issue. Hopefully you might have come across that. There are some big billboards of it just a bit further up Simon Street as well that you might see. Also around food and drink policy, so creating healthier environments around the city, making water the first choice, and an annual monitoring report just to track how we are going on some of those targets for nutrition and physical activity. So specifically for Wai, we have some core partners. So we have the 3 Auckland DHBs, we have Watercare, Auckland Council and Auckland Transport that are the core partners working on this project. And we describe it as having 4 key work streams. The first one is infrastructure, the second is policy and advocacy, thirdly communications and marketing, and the 4th one is around community action. And I'll go into those in some more detail. And depending on, the subject matter of the work stream, different partners are involved at different levels. And I forgot to mention at the start, we're just starting out. I've been in my role, I think, just over 2 months, and the project has funding for 3 years. So things could change as we go along and as we work with communities. So firstly, infrastructure. So I don't know, I've definitely become more aware of this now as water and sugary drinks consume my life when I'm out and about. Auckland isn't really well served by drinking fountains. We know that there are 306 council-owned assets for our population of 1.6 million Aucklanders, compared with other comparable cities like Melbourne, who have 1,600 drinking fountains for their population of 1.8 million, or Brisbane, who have 1,500 drinking fountains for about 2 million people. So we've got a way to go. So what are we going to do to start? So firstly, we're going to assess the drinking fountains that are out there in our community and see what standard they are. We've got help from the University of Auckland with a summer student for that one. And also with our partnership through Watercare, just like to acknowledge Phyllis Rogers, who's here today. We are going to pilot an app from the Yarra Valley Council. So in Melbourne, they have a program called Choose Tap. And so on the app, you can open it and you can look at where you are. It's all geolocation and see where the nearest drinking fountain is to you. It's not ready to pilot yet, but if you are interested, you can come and see me afterwards. Another good thing about that app as well, there's the ability to crowdsource data. So we do know there are other fountains out in the community that aren't owned by Auckland Council. For example, in Wynyard Quarter, they're in public places, but people just might not know that they are there. So there will be that ability for people to add to it. And also our partners, so Auckland Transport and Watercare, they've committed to providing some new infrastructure for drinking fountains in Auckland as well, so that's really great to see. And we need to celebrate that in Auckland we do have really high quality drinking water, so we're really fortunate in that respect. Going forward, what we're looking at doing is we've developed some criteria for where we're going to put new fountains in, because unfortunately infrastructure doesn't come cheap. We would love to put drinking fountains everywhere in the city, but that's just not possible. So when we're putting in new fountains, we're going to assess things like deprivation, foot traffic, proximity to food retailers, so we can be trying to displace sugary drinks at the same time. Also, we're going to look at future-proofing things, so Auckland Council and Transport, they're looking at their guidelines, so they can have levels of service, which what that means is if there's a new development happening, say a cycleway or a new subdivision, there will be rules in place that if there's X amount of people or X amount of kilometres, there needs to be a drinking fountain to service those communities. It's not just about infrastructure as well, like I said, it's expensive. It's about unlocking the infrastructure we already have. So taps are everywhere and we can go and refill our water bottles in lots of places, but often people aren't confident going into retailers and asking to fill up their drink bottle. But there's a really great project in the UK called Refill, and so we're looking at maybe adopting approaches like that where retailers or cafes could have a sticker on there just so you know that you can go in there and fill up your water bottle for free. I know the Hutt Valley Council have just looked at implementing something like that as well. So the next work stream is around communications and marketing. So getting that message out there and normalising that water is a good thing to drink. We're not looking at creating a new brand here. We know there's lots of great work already happening out there. For example, November is Switch to Water Month for the New Zealand Dental Association, the Health Promotion Agency. They have lots of fantastic resources around promoting water, so we just really want to amplify that activity that's already happening. In terms of sugary drink marketing, I guess they have a really disproportionate amount of airtime for a discretionary product. There's studies that have been done by the Kids Canteen that have shown that children are exposed to twice as many unhealthy food items in the community to healthy items, and of those unhealthy items, guess what is number one? It's sugary drinks that they see the most. Also, it's quite hard in New Zealand to find a major sports team that doesn't have an association with a beverage company. I think the only one I've come across is New Zealand Rugby League. All the other major codes do have an association with beverages. So I guess our children are getting exposed to these things as being really, really normal. Also, the out-of-home advertising. It's quite hard to find a dairy that isn't painted in a beverage company's colour or not plastered with lots of beverage company advertising. So looking at things like that and being aware of it. We've done some research as part of Healthy Auckland together just to understand what some of those consumer drivers and behaviours are so we can try and tailor the messages to help people there. We're hoping to get some ambassadors being part of our program to be role models for water. So we've got some ideas, but if anyone else has some ideas, maybe Gerhard can introduce me to the Vodafone Warriors, that would be great. Next up is around policy and advocacy. So that's really around creating supportive environments. So water is the first and easy choice. Again, we know there's lots of great stuff happening out there in schools and in the community. Some of our HAT partners like Healthy Families Waitakere are doing some really great work out in West Auckland, Heart Foundation, Diabetes Project Trust. So again, we want to support that and hear about the successes and really celebrate that. And I guess share lots of different stories, because often it's the same stories that we hear about the same schools that are doing really well. It's about sharing the different stories and really encouraging people. Also, like I was saying, as part of Healthy Auckland Together, food and drink policy is a big feature. I was honoured this year to be a judge for Diwali, so I got to go around and assess some of the food, and it was really pleasing to see the sugarcane stands. You might think, oh, how could they be involved in this? But I was so impressed they really took the co-upper on board with the pricing and the placement of their products. So for example, they had really small glasses of sugarcane juice, maybe 150 mils for $6. They had a larger cup that was about 250 mils, that was $8. And then they had a huge cup of water, bottles of water, for only $2. So even they looked at what they could do to help make water the preferred choice in their food stores, so that was great. So the next work stream is around community action. So as part of our project, we have funding available for the Healthy Auckland Together partners that they will be able to apply for, so they can support communities, reduce their barriers to accessing water or displacing sugary drinks. So we're just finalising the finer details of that, but that's going to be something that's going to be really great for the project. And lastly, the benefits. I probably don't really need to go over this in too much detail because we've talked about it a lot today, but I guess for me as a background in nutrition, the really great thing about this project is it's really a no-brainer. There's not much argument in terms of sugar compared with some other nutritional issues. The benefits are just there around reducing dental caries and obesity. In terms of financial benefits, tap water's free. We can just go out and turn a tap and fill out bottles. It's free for everyone. And I think one of the ones that hasn't really come up today that is emerging as a really important issue is around sustainability and the environmental impacts of bottled water, sugary drinks as well. I think that can be another lever that we can pull instead of just coming in on that sugar angle to help people get on board with water. And last slide. So this is just really to acknowledge the key partners in our project and just to show how the 4 work streams are interrelated. Like I said, the project is really in its early days, so these things might change as we go along, but that's kind of an overview of what Wai Auckland is all about. And I haven't had any cards, so I think I might have some time for some questions if they're ready.
Presenter, she's ahead of time.
Sorry if I was speaking too fast.
No, that's great. Thank you very much. Do we have questions or comments for
Lily?
Hang on, just hold on.
Awesome presentation, and now I have a good idea about what you're actually doing. I just wondered what the plans are for the evaluation sort of aspect.
Oh, thank you. Good question. So we have met up with the University of Auckland last week around getting some support and conducting some baseline measures. So we're looking at evaluating all 4 of our work streams and also working with our partners to get some of that data. So for example, water care can count some of the volumes of water that are going through the water fountains. In that marketing space, looking at media that is out there, monitoring that type of thing, social media campaigns that are happening. Looking at the number of policies that exist now, and then as we track over the 3 years of the project, and with the community action work stream again, looking at the number of projects and then what the outcomes are. So we will be evaluating all of that.
We've got time for another question or comment. Everybody's thirsty now for some water, I can tell. Well, thank you very much.